What's up, everyone? This is Goldilocks, former TNA backstage interviewer, manager, and you're listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast. Thanks for being here.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 144 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Colling Jr. and with me as always is Dallas Gridley. In Dallas, we are coming off of TNA's second monthly pay-per-view known as Turning Point 2004, where on that show, quite a few things happened, which included in the main event the official breakup of Triple X, Christopher Daniels and Erik Skipper losing a steel cage match against America's Most Wanted, where the losing team would then be forced to split up forever. So Triple X no longer exists. Also on that show, Randy Savage pinned the NWA World Champion Jeff Jarrett in a 6-man tag, where Savage teamed up with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy to defeat Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. Now, as Dallas has noted already, we never see Randy Savage ever again.
And don't you worry, Bob, because between today and our next episode, we're already going to be talking about it. So it's not really even that big of a spoiler when we talk about it.
Right. So Randy Savage's pin over Jeff Jarrett will essentially amount to absolutely nothing. Diamond Dallas Page defeated Raven in his return match, at least on a national level. And I guess Erik Watts got involved in that as well.
Yes, he did.
So who knows what Erik Watts is up to. Monty Brown defeated Abyss in a Serengeti survival match when he put him onto thumbtacks, which was a way to win that. We have new tag team champions. Team Canada, Eric Young and Bobby Roode defeated Three Life Crew, BG James and Ron Killings to win those titles. And in arguably a match that was the most heavily promoted, the TNA X Division champion, Petey Williams, successfully retained against Chris Sabin. There were a couple of other matches, but those matches were pretty much filler, so I'm not going to really point those out unless we absolutely have to.
No, and I'm going to go through some breakdowns that Meltzer does of the show as well. So I'll mention those at least briefly, because his opinion on the show, he actually breaks it down pretty good.
Right. So yeah, we're coming out of Turning Point. Our next pay-per-view looks to be about 6 weeks away. Final Resolution on January 16th, which will also be taking place in Orlando, Florida. So we've got, I believe this is the longest amount of time. Yeah, obviously Victory Road being the first had like 9 weeks or whatever.
Right.
So we have 6 weeks of time. There was only 3 weeks between Victory Road and Turning Point. Or no, 4. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's 4. Yep.
4 weeks between those. So we have a little bit more time to see what we can maybe put together for the first pay-per-view in 2005.
Right, and this is the last big chunk of time, this long at least, until like March, April of 2005. So we're gonna be pumping these pay-per-views out for a little while, and then after there's even some coming up. I mean, just rolling on Cage Match, where we have 2 episodes of Impact and another pay-per-view. So it's just like shit's about to get pretty wild in 2005, for sure. It's gonna be good shit, man.
I'm looking forward to getting into 2005.
Oh yeah, me too, absolutely. I really can't wait. And really, Turning Point was our last like of course, big stop before the end of the year. We have I think there's, if I'm remembering, I think we have like 4 episodes of Impact through the rest of this year, 2004. We'll be getting you guys a year in review episode at some point before the end of the year as well. And then we're going to be kickstarting 2005, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like, really crazy.
Yeah. I think a lot for me in terms of 2005, 2004 had a lot going on, especially in terms of getting onto Fox Sports Net.
Right.
But if you thought a lot happens in 2004, 2005 is arguably the year in which TNA really kind of explodes in terms of popularity, exposure. Their TV spot is significantly better, and that would continue to grow into 2006, 2007, whatever. So 2005 is definitely the, no pun intended, turning point for TNA's existence for the next decade.
Yeah, well, I, for one, cannot freaking wait for that because it's going to be so good. But we do got a couple things to cover and get through before that. And I think it's going to still be enjoyable. So it's not like we're like dying here. We're in like 2002. It was like kind of rough to like, hey, let's go. Let's get moving. So let's dive right into it, man. We got a lot to cover because of what happened on this past show with Turning Point. And then I'll just say forewarning right now, and we'll be talking about it more because as of the last 2 impacts started the double tapings. So the episode that we're watching right now on December 10th and the December 17th episode were both filmed on December 7th. So just 2 days after Turning Point. That being said, sometimes notes may be a little more intertwined. I'm going to try not to slip up a little bit, but I also don't generally look too much ahead because I don't like to spoil things that are like surprises and stuff. So, if a slip comes out that happens to be on the next episode or whatever, my apologies. I tried my best, but just that's my warning, so that no one gets angry at me. Because I know Bob, when we log off, sometimes he threatens me. I'm just saying. So.
It's not recorded.
Yeah, there you go. So we have the return of the thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs in the middle, and of course the best and the worst match poll because unfortunately there was not that available for Victory Road, which is pretty disappointing, unless it's buried somewhere really weird in their archive. But I did not see it. But it's back, and so me and Bob both gave the show a thumbs up. It was I thought, very good pay-per-view. And so, Bob, do you think that the readers of The Observer agreed with us on that, or were they not as kind?
No, I'm going to say they agreed.
Yeah, it was pretty big. 92.1% gave it a thumbs up. No one, 0%, gave it a thumbs down, and 7.9% gave it in the middle. And now Bob wondering, okay, is it like 30 people? No, Bob, actually, it's quite a bit more. 129 people voted thumbs up and 11 in the middle. So,
wow.
A pretty freaking big number of people voting on this, which, as Dave noted before, sometimes that correlated with how many people actually ended up buying the show or watching it. I mean,
right.
Like statistically, like if there was a lot who voted, a lot probably bought it.
Right. So that's got to be like the highest response
I think
ever.
So.
Like even with like the weeklies that would usually like at most get like 50.
Yeah, I feel like this has got to be the highest, which is pretty crazy. I mean, do I really got to even have you guess on the best match of the show?
It's obviously the cage.
It's cage match. Second place was the X Division title match, which I also said was like phenomenal. So now the worst match on the show, I think, is also, kind of obvious because it was kind of a letdown. And that was the Kings of Wrestling against Styles, Hardy, and Randy Savage.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
Really? Well, see, to me, it was so much of a letdown. I understand why people were like, "Yo, that was the worst."
I could see why. I thought it was going to be Johnny B. Bad Kenny against NYC.
That's second. And they're actually really close. So number-wise for those matches, 61 people voted that the Kings of Wrestling and the six-man was the worst. 59 said that the Gilberty and Swinger versus Pat Kenny and Johnny B. Bad. So it's really close vote-wise.
Do we think that the disappointment in the six-man tag was how AJ and Hardy were kind of treated more so than the finish?
No, we did point that out during the show because they were just getting beat down the entire time. I feel like it's got to play a part in it, especially for the people who are voting on this. I feel like if I'm, that kind of audience. But at the same time, the hype up for Randy Savage to then be apparently kidnapped and then like do a run in and do the shittiest like roll up ever after like a punch. I mean, it was so bad.
Yeah, that the punch and then the sit down. I thought he did like a shitty roll up.
Yeah, the sit down thing. Yeah.
No, I thought it was like a schoolboy. Like he did it, but no, it was even
worse.
Worse.
It was like a sunset flip, and then he just like sat down. He kind of sat down on him.
He more or less like kneeled.
Yeah, it was, dude. Yeah, it was.
I don't even think he hooked a leg. I think he just like pulled. He was like holding his hair, wasn't
he? Yeah, I mean, dude, it was like
not good.
It was not a good look, unfortunately. And listen, I know he got his limitations at this point in time, but I don't know. Don't come back then. I guess I don't know.
Right.
It's weird. Okay, let's dive right into this. We have quite a bit of notes about Turning Point, and then we have a quick breakdown where I only pulled out a couple highlights for the stuff, but I'm just kind of going to go down this list. There's a lot of really, really good insight and information in this. So, Dave notes here that with much of the talent recognizing the straits the company is really in, the TNA promotion pulled off one of the best pay-per-view shows in wrestling history on December 5th in Orlando. Paced by an off-the-charts cage match with America's Most Wanted versus Triple X, with the losing team having to break up. The show featured a spot that I pray is never done again, but will perhaps be the most memorable spot of the year, when Erik Skipper walked the top of the cage and gave a Hurricane Rana to Chris Harris back into the ring. And what was scariest of all, Skipper stumbled and had a hard time getting balance on top of the cage before he even did the walk, which was like terrifying.
Yeah.
Even knowing how that was going to go, it was still scary.
Yeah, that was nerve-wracking. I don't think it's been done since, has it?
Not that I know of, and especially not a cage like that, because most cages don't have just like the little thin part at the top.
Right. I mean, if there was like a platform, it might be something that's done, but not walking on the cage.
Yeah, and of course we know he's done like the rope walks before and stuff like that, which Meltzer notes. But then, of course, going on top of the cage, he literally could have died. I mean, if he slipped, he could have died.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Now, this is some interesting stuff, because we were talking about, like, well, did they try this out maybe? How did this go? Well, apparently the wrestlers had talked about the spot beforehand, and it was apparently it was tentatively in the match. So they weren't even sure if they were going to do it. And there was talk of not doing it, both due to the risk and if Skipper felt that he was too tired from the 20 minutes of wrestling to where it wouldn't be a good idea. Dusty Rhodes booked this match to be about 25 minutes. It actually went 21 and 1 second. So it went actually a little under of the book time. And noted that it would be either a classic or a disaster. And it was sink or swim for four guys who had a bad match on the pay-per-view a month earlier. Now, of course, we know that was due to an injury, all that kind of stuff. But talk about a comeback.
Yeah. Completely redeeming yourself plus some.
Yeah. I mean, super high praise from Meltzer there. And he continues to talk very strongly about the show. And it's also noted here that fans live at Universal Studios gave both teams a lengthy standing ovation after the match that actually lived up to the standards set in the most famous match ever with the same stipulations. In 1983, Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood win over Sergeant Slaughter and Don Kernodle for the NWA Tag Team titles, which is one of the biggest matches in history of Carolina's wrestling. And now he goes on to say, but it was hardly a one-match show, as there were only 2 bad matches. Now, unfortunately, the worst was the main event, which his main event as far as promoted-wise, because obviously the cage match went on last. And what turned out to be the smartest move of the night, the new booker, Dusty Rhodes, put the cage match on last, as reversing it would have led to a flat finish of the show. The 1-2 punch of the cage match and the P.D. Williams versus Chris Sabin X Division match. And this one was every bit as good as the top 2 matches at Backlash for WWE in April, which they spoke, it's a highly regarded show where Mick Foley and Randy Orton had that hardcore match, and Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit had the rematch from WrestleMania. And this show blew away every pay-per-view offering WWE has done since that time. So, I mean, super high praise about the show.
So he's saying it's been its best one since Backlash?
And that it was as good as Backlash.
Okay.
Like the two big matches, the X Division and the Cage, were just as good as the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing this Turning Point gets such high praise as being one of the best pay-per-views ever.
I mean, yeah, they literally said in wrestling, like ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how accurate that is. At least for me, like it was a good show, but I don't know if I'd say it was like a banger. You know.
No, I see what you mean. I think what's interesting about it too is with Turning Point, I feel like it's more or less like kind of forgotten because it's like Victor Rhodes, like the first big one. I feel like you kind of forget about Turning Point. It's like there. I mean, yeah, it's another big show. But...
I could definitely see that.
Because like watching it was like, damn, that was really fucking good. And it's like I remember so much of the show, but like then I've never am like, I don't know, I just don't. I feel like I forget about it. Because then you just I just picture the like skipper spot, but I forget it's at Turning Point. You know, it's like that kind of shit where it's just like right. I just forget the show it's on. But watching in context and everything, I mean, really good.
No, I mean it is a good show. I mean, I think realistically it's a 2-match show instead of like a 1-match or anything. But like DDP looked good in there with Raven. That was a match.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, but so I just want to say, I mean, it's a good show. I don't. Maybe in 2004 because there wasn't as much competition in terms of like greatest pay-per-views ever. I guess maybe it could be in there, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the time, too. Yeah, I think it's a good point.
It might be one of TNA's best ever. I don't know.
I think it's got to be.
We'll find out over the course of this podcast.
Yes, we will. So this is, of course, early on in Dusty Rhodes' time being Booker. So while Rhodes' first show as head Booker, if that's even the correct title, was a success, it was also noted that the show itself, as far as key matches, were all booked by Dutch Mantel and Jeff Jarrett before the change. Now, right now, there is an interesting company dynamic because Jarrett is already back as a key player in booking, if he ever really left, of course. While Rhodes is the boss and made it clear to everyone, Jarrett and Mantel are still in the game and allies with each other. So this is going to kind of start to dive into what direction we are potentially going. Okay, so it's kind of cutting off of that, and we're going to kind of tie this back into Victory Road. All kind of stuff like that, and then this is going to tie into stuff for next week. It's all sorts of stuff. So there was second guessing future plans. In particular, Rhodes' idea to change the January 16th main event. So you ready for this? So this is a rumored main event that was supposed to happen. Was Jarrett defending the title against Diamond Dallas Page, and he wanted to change that, of course, to Jarrett defending against Randy Savage. Now, the arguments naturally are that Savage is a far bigger name than DDP, so it should draw more. Now, the negative is that the company was aware just how much of a joke Savage is at this stage, to the point they hid him with a kidnapping angle and only had him run in for the finish, in street clothes, including a long-sleeve shirt. He's so physically limited that his pinfall over Jarrett to earn the title shot was on a blocked sunset flip, and simply one punch from that position. To anyone who saw the show, Even with Mike tonight emphasizing that he pinned the champ and deserves the next shot, the idea of a Jarrett versus Savage main event, which Jarrett himself was originally in favor of for obvious reasons, since in his eyes, he gets a win over Savage, provided Savage agreeable to that finish, is nothing anyone would want to see. And the thought of Jarrett having to carry him to a credible world title match is a scary thought. And so he also notes that Jarrett versus DDP has no box office either, but at least it would be a good match.
Yeah, I mean, I think DDP Jarrett would. I mean, there's no doubt it'd be a good match. Now, in terms of box office, I mean, they do have history in WCW, as Dallas, I believe, has said that the Kimberly Page turn at Spring Stampede 2000 was the most devastating thing that he's ever watched, and that was when he watched it 18 years after the fact.
I mean, it's truly one of the biggest turns of all time.
Right.
Shocking. Did not see it coming. Watch it, and you tell me if you saw it coming, because I didn't see it coming. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody at that time knew that she was going to turn.
I had no idea.
So he had no idea. Yeah, I mean, so in terms of like, if you're going to make a huge amount of money, like probably not, but that's not because necessarily the wrestlers, more or less because of the current state of the promotion. How many people do you think would even buy a Jarrett Savage pay-per-view at this point? Heading into 2005. I mean, I can't imagine they would do a huge number.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those weird things where it's like on paper it's like, oh wow, that's kind of crazy, and then it's like, then you realize like, oh wait, it's 2005. Oh wait, they also, I mean, specifically Savage in general is way not in his prime anymore, like way past it.
Yeah, and I think they make a great point too about how, or Dave does here about they had to hide him with an abduction angle because of how limited and not great he looked.
And we were sitting here watching the show thinking, oh, he just is being a pain in the ass or whatever. We didn't know. It's like he just doesn't want to do it here. He kind of quit once. Does he just not want to do this now? So they have to do it like this, but no, it's just because he couldn't do anything. So just for fun, what do you think that his finishing move would be if he had a match with Jarrett? Because he can't do the elbow.
No, he can't.
What's his new finisher?
I would say, I mean, he could probably still do a double axe handle.
I don't know, Cammy.
Off the middle rope.
Off the middle rope, yeah, okay.
That'd
be something.
Maybe he would do like a running elbow strike, because he used to do, I mean, that wasn't a finishing move, but he would do that. Like get the point of his elbow and just hit him in the head.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just fun ideas to fantasy book.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I believe so we're gonna kind of follow up on that whole situation next week more, and kind of dip into some more future plans for Final Resolution. As far as I know, it's not a spoiler if it's being reported. So I'm gonna hold it till next week just in case we do hear a little bit on today's show. But we'll talk a little bit more about Final Resolution coming up. But to continue on here, I actually have some really fun notes here I'm really excited about. But before that, so the show drew about 650 to 700 fans. It looked full on television, except in the corners. The company was expecting 500 troops to come in from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa and fill out the other 200 slots with local diehards. Talked about that. Now, the company never pushed the pay-per-view locally or even that hard at the taping because they figured that they would have to turn people away even without promotion due to the limited availability. Now, unlike Victory Road, show 4 weeks earlier, this was a free ticket. So remember, they were kind of trying to charge Victory Road. The bomb dropped was when only 40 or so troops ended up coming, but they were lucky that enough fans came and the fans that did come were super enthusiastic. So, mind you, they were thinking 500 troops were coming. And they were going to get some locals will come in, whatever. They got 40 troops, and then they still had 700 fans come.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
How much of that? I mean, is it good? Let's think this through.
Okay, well, I look at it this way. Of course, it's not paying. The venue, we got to keep in mind, is not massive. We could hold like a max of like 850 right now.
Right. But I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about in general. Like, you're in Florida. They know that DDP, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Randy Savage are all on the show. And you're not having like 5,000 people show up. You're getting 700 for a free ticket. And they know it's a free ticket. It's not an additional ticket.
No, I see what you're getting at.
If you focus on just the aspect of, hey, they got 700 to fit a 700, that looks great. Right. But when you look at the talent...
But there's not a higher demand.
Right. That you've brought in over the past 3 weeks. And there's not like an overwhelming thing here.
Right. Now, I see what you're saying. I get it.
Because let's say they went to a building where you could fit 7,000 people. 7,000 people probably aren't showing up to that for a paying ticket.
No, they're not.
Probably not even half.
No, probably not. I think that's fair.
Small victories, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I'm just taking what I can get, man. So Dave notes, and this is kind of interesting and kind of annoys me too at the same time, but he notes that his response level, or theirs, the Wrestling Observer, was down 29% from Victory Road 4 weeks earlier. So that means at some point there was a vote on the show that I cannot find it. Now, if that show did 35,000 buys, which is the current estimate, then you could probably make an early prediction in the $25,000 or 25,000 buys range for Turning Point. So he's thinking that there was a little bit less. Now he's basing this strictly off of his response.
Right.
So that's just his kind of guess. But I think it was kind of interesting. But as we've noted, it kind of sometimes does correlate.
Yeah, but I mean, I think no matter what they put on that first show, Victory Road, I think it's going to get a higher response. It's something new.
Right.
People want to be like, I know, like my whole reason of getting it was like, oh, I can say I got the first pay-per-view.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that doesn't surprise me that there was a dip of interest.
No, definitely.
Even though Turning Point had the stronger card, I think, on paper.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now, this is something I was really hoping would be in here. Now, we, of course, know the show was also filled with comedy knocks at the WWE. And now, we know who the people are. Are you ready? So, they had a guy dressed up as Vince McMahon. I'd make you guess, but you're never going to guess it because I don't really even know who this guy is. And it is actually ring announcer Tim Welch. So he's played Vince McMahon.
I've heard that name before.
Coming out of the limo
I never would have gotten that.
With a supposed Triple H with a wig and sledgehammer. Now, we were guessing for a while, for most of the show, it's P.D. Williams. It's got to be P.D. Williams. And then at one point, we were like, wait, no, it's not. And I think you just guess who it is. It's an active roster member. Give me like one or two guesses. Because it makes sense why we were like, oh, it's PD. Like, I feel like it clicked for me.
Eric Young.
Close.
Is he in Team Canada?
He is in Team Canada.
Johnny Devine.
It's Johnny Devine. Dude, I don't know why, but I was like, shit, that's why we, like, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
so Johnny Devine was playing Triple H with us. Now, of course, they had, like, Abyss bring, quote, Vince McMahon, and they called him Vince McDaddy. But they brought him balloons. They had Triple H, or Johnny Devine, doing the voice, spitting water as his useless son. And, of course, we don't need to fully break down the segment. We covered it. But they wanted to destroy the tape. And they were teasing that they're going to show the tape and all this stuff. Well, and Dave notes that the little person that came in and beat the crap out of Vince, he says that it was T.O., but I'm, like, very certain it's not T.O. I'm just saying. Because, like, we've seen T.O. often, but I guess if it is.
I kind of thought it was T.O. as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'd have to look again, I guess. But he notes that it was T.O. I didn't think it was, but I guess I'd have to look back. So
I thought it was, and if not,
they had similar haircut.
He looked very similar.
They did, and actually, I think I might have even made a joke about it, like not like it should have been him. I don't know. So maybe it was. Well, he destroyed the D-Ray 3000 tape and stuff, and eventually, of course, as Dave says here, they eventually showed the relatively, and almost, it is essentially useless footage, right? That they took a few weeks back when WWE shot its Royal Rumble commercial at Universal Studios in Orlando. Now, this is some of the fun parts. So, luckily, due to 3 Live Crew making jokes about stealing WWE's catered Mahi Mahi, it wasn't a complete dead. Now, they digitized everyone's face out to avoid threatening a lawsuit. Now, we were saying, oh, that's got to be like Eddie Guerrero. Like, it looks like Eddie Guerrero kind of in the blur. Well, apparently, I think that guy was, in fact, Luther Reigns and not Eddie Guerrero. So, because they specifically point out Luther Reigns and Rey Mysterio here, and we knew which one was Rey Mysterio, of course.
Really, Luther Reigns?
And he says, Luther Reigns. And now Dave says that his voice was a giveaway. Now they kind of messed with the voices, I think, a little bit. But also, of course, we're not listening full volume. We're talking over it a little bit too. So I mean, we could have just missed it. Now BG James joked that Mysterio being nice to them was a firing offense. Now he says, while Reigns' voice was a giveaway, it's doubtful that almost anyone would know that he was there, which, here we are, also not knowing that. With Mysterio, with his voice and his arm tattoo, let alone how many 5'2" wrestlers there are in WWE, it was pretty obvious. And when it was over, Mike Tenay made the joke about threatening a lawsuit. It's not like we brought a tank to their headquarters. That's what he said. So pretty cool. I'm glad we kind of figured out who was playing the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that was Eddie Guerrero. Still, I don't think that was Luther Reigns.
I sort of think so too, but listen, I'm just going what I got here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see his breakdown here. He's got star ratings for the matches, and I think it's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna do apology because apparently there was a dark match before the show, and I was unaware of that.
I didn't know that either.
And so in the dark match, apparently Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens defeated Mikey Batts and Jarrell Clark when Batts was pinned after the natural disaster. So surprise, there was a dark match.
Here's the thing: it's not even documented as being a match anywhere.
No, nowhere.
So
that tag team title match with Team Canada winning the titles, with the ref distracted, Johnny Devine returned and hit James with a hockey stick. Rude got the pin. Fast-paced match. Dave gave that 2.25 stars. Hector Garza, Sonny Siaki, and Sanjay Dutt defeated Michael Shane, Frankie Kazarian, and Kid Cash in 11 minutes and 1 second. The tag team title match, 8 minutes 30 seconds, if you want to know. He noticed that this match was a total sprint of high spots, but it's what people wanted out of the match. Smartly, apparently he notes that Siaki did almost nothing, so apparently that was good according to him. And Garza pinned Kazarian after hitting the tornillo. He gave that match 3.25 stars. And he breaks these down a little bit more, by the way, but I'm just kind of giving us the high overview since, we covered the show. And if you want to hear us break it down, check out our last episode.
Do it.
It was a lot of fun. Monty Brown defeated Abyss in 12 minutes, 17 seconds in that Serengeti survival match. Now, of course, the rules, you could win via pinfall, submission, or slamming your opponent into thumbtacks. Brown, in a promo called Abyss Obese, and of course, making a joke that he's a large man. And Dave talks a lot of shit about Abyss's physique here, which I'm just skipping right over because I just think it's stupid. And Brown blocked Abyss and slammed him down with a spine buster to win 2.75 stars. He gave that one. Now this one, he kind of has some interesting stuff. So Johnny B. Bad and Pat Kenny defeated Glenn Gilberti and Johnny Swinger 7 minutes 50 seconds. And he notes, remember when Kenny, Gilberti, and Swinger were all taken off TV to be repackaged? So they came back as the same exact people, except that they gave Kenny the Empire Saint nickname, that they do nothing to push him as being different. Not even a new outfit, or he says costume, but instead of making him the brunt of the third grade Irish jokes. So he's just kind of back, and he's the same thing. This was supposed to be a 6-person tag with Jacqueline Moore and Trinity. It was not advertised on the show, so nobody cared about it. They hadn't even run any angles to set up these four in a program, and Moore hadn't done any TV since the last pay-per-view. Trinity called a few days before the show and told the office that she had gotten a movie role doing stunts for Steven Spielberg's remake of War of the Worlds and couldn't do the pay-per-view. Since the show was already written, they were pissed at her for this decision. The instructions were to act like she didn't exist, and at this point, there were no plans to use her again. Yeah, you just heard that right. There is apparently no plans to use fucking Trinity anymore.
Because she got a better job.
Yeah. And couldn't make it to one pay-per-view. Jackie Moore ended up being the referee, wearing her old WWE ref outfit. The finish saw Jacqueline body slam Gilberti and Bad pin him after a TKO. 1 1/4 stars. Then we go to DDP, pinned Raven in some sort of no DQ match, since there was interference everywhere and nothing was called in 12 minutes and 3 seconds. They had a good match, but in their fear of not having one, so badly overbooked it that they took a lot away from it at the finish. Now, of course, as Bob noted, Erik Watts is back, and he kind of did a bad thing. So he was on commentary as a babyface, protested it was unfair. Now, he ended up chokeslamming both, and then naturally, this was so pathetic because it was a needless swerve that everyone in the building could see. He turned on DDP, I took out some parts. He chokeslammed both of the hooded guys. That's just what I was referencing, because we had the hooded guys. That's my bad, because I took some of the stuff out of this. But so everyone saw the swerve coming. He turned on DDP, clotheslined him. He went for a chokeslam, but DDP gave him a low blow. So not only was the turn transparent, but it made no difference because it didn't even cost DDP the match. Right. DDP used a diamond cutter on Watts, another low blow to Raven, and a third diamond cutter to win the match. This bout was considerably better than it reads, as it was Raven's best match in a long time until they got so cute that the finish was one of those fuzzy things that meant nothing. And he gives this one 3 1/4 stars.
Wow, I still gave 3 1/4.
Yeah. It does make it sound a lot worse on paper.
Yeah, it was solid, but he is right. They got too cute with all the, Erik Watts like interference and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like that. And just, I feel like he's right. I think they overbooked it because they were worried that maybe DDP wasn't going to be able to do the match, and not saying they, but even himself maybe didn't think that it was going to be able to do it.
No, absolutely. And when Erik Watts did the turn, and then it was useless. It's like, why even?
If he cost him the match, it would have been like significantly better.
Right. But when you do that and then you still fail at it, not only it kind of just kills Watts.
Yeah, it does. He couldn't even
heel, and you couldn't even do it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was definitely a blunder. But you're right, and so is Dave. They were probably worried that you had to do smoke and mirrors because DDP. And I even said within the first 30 seconds, it looked like he was kind of stiff and it wasn't moving right. But then as the match got on, he warmed up and was doing pretty good.
Definitely. Petey William retaining that X Division title. He pinned Sabin in 18 minutes, 11 seconds. Dave says just a super match with off the chart heat. They were doing the alternating chants. Let's go Sabin. Let's go Petey. Scott D'Amore kept interfering, and eventually with D'Amore distracting the ref, Williams pulled out brass knucks for the pin. He gave this match 4 stars.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. On to the 6-man. Jeff Hardy, Styles, and Randy Savage beat Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Jeff Jarrett in 17 minutes and 52 seconds, which reading that is insane that we watched Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles get beat up for 17 minutes, really, before anything happened. So Nash and Hall and Jarrett before the show, being that they are the kings of wrestling, dressed up like Elvis in jumpsuits and Elvis wigs, which I think is hilarious. They also did this angle where the car drove away and they acted as if they'd beaten Savage up, threw him in the car, and he was kidnapped. It's actually because Savage couldn't wrestle, as we discussed, and they were trying to hide that. So the match begun. It was 2-on-3. Hall and Nash wore the jumpsuits, so Dave says that they look like giant clowns. I, for one, thought they were great because it was funny. Now, the jumpsuits were to apparently hide their physiques, although Nash is in great cosmetic shape for his age, as Meltzer says. But it couldn't hide their faces. Both, particularly Hall, have aged greatly. I hate this shit, but I just bring it up because it's just stupid. But they aged. They did also come out, a nice deep cut for you longtime TNA fans. They came out to the Flying Elvis's theme song, which I loved.
Didn't Scott Hall wrestle on the Impact before the pay-per-view and not in the Elvis gear?
Yeah, he did.
So why are we hiding?
So it's not hiding his. Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's not hiding his physique.
No, it's stupid. It's really stupid.
Yeah, he just says things.
He does. No, he does. Hardy had Hall pinned when Nash pulled the referee Andrew Thomas out of the ring. Hall hit Hardy with a guitar shot. Savage finally showed up, and he made Hall and Nash look youthful. Because he's... Yeah. It's so stupid. So he says, backstage, I was told Savage looked 100 years old. I thought on TV he didn't look more than one day over 60. Although he did look older than Lou Thesz did when I saw him at a show in 1996 when Lou was 80. Holy shit. Savage threw a few punches and put Jarrett in a sleeper. Jarrett tried a sunset flip. Savage blocked it, punched Jarrett into the head, and got the pin. But he gave this match a 1 star.
You know what? The 1 star is probably generous.
Yeah. Now, of course.
I wonder, you know what? Randy, I feel like Randy is the type of guy that's influenced by what other people think of him.
Yeah.
So if he were to have seen, or by seen, I guess, if he had read these comments by Meltzer, that might have played a part in him being like, you know what? If this guy, a critic, a known critic, and people are reading his shit, if he thinks that I look like I'm 100 or if I look like I'm 80 on TV, maybe I really shouldn't be doing this. And you know he's self-conscious because he's wearing a jacket, he's wearing a shirt, wearing a long sleeve shirt, whatever. And even in '92, when he was off the gas, he was wearing a shirt and like protecting his physique.
I don't know if I even put that together with the shirt and stuff. Wow. That's really interesting.
I think that he might have seen the criticisms or whatever, and
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
I don't want to ruin my legacy like many other people have. So and it's TNA on a lower level scale. Like
it's true,
isn't worth it to him, maybe.
Yeah, I want to definitely hold down to that thought too, because I kind of want to bring that up once we kind of discuss that further, probably on our next episode, because I have some discussion we can have about Randy Savage too. Finally, we're on to the cage match. Chris Harris, James Storm beat Erik Skipper, or it's primetime, it's not Erik Skipper, but and Christopher Daniels in a losing team must split up forever. 6 sides of steel cage match went, of course, as we noted, 21 minutes and 1 second. Daniels juiced heavy after being slingshotted into the cage. They got handcuffs on Harris, proceeded to beat the hell out of Storm, and he really breaks this match down a lot. Crowd started chanting "best match ever," while TNA acted like they were seeing history in one of the greatest cage matches of all time. And he even says, and that wasn't even a stretch by this point. So, like, mid-match, it's still like, holy shit. The match ended with America's Most Wanted putting Daniels in handcuffs and doing a Powerplex Triple X's finisher on Daniels, and Storm got the pin. The crowd gave both teams that standing ovation at the finish for several minutes. The heel dressing room then came out and gave a standing ovation to Triple X as they got up to leave. Now, I don't think we saw that. Like that, I don't think it was on pay-per-view at all. This match blew away the match they had 17 months ago, and they may have been the best match in TNA history. There is little question in my mind. This match has one of those honors. He gives this match 4 3/4 stars.
Just give it the 5. I mean,
yeah, dude. It's like, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
4, like, I know I've done that. I think with like reviews, like I'll do 3 3/4, or I think maybe even 4 3/4. But that's really nitpicking to not give the full 5.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that.
And then we say, he's gonna sit there and say it's arguably the best match in TNA history.
Right.
I think it deserves a 5.
I kind of do too. I mean, it was that good. It's
one of the best tag team matches of all time, probably. And if you look at 2000, if you go strictly 2004, it's absolutely up there.
Yeah, for any promotion. I mean, I don't think that there should be any doubt that I think America's Most Wanted and Triple X have got to be among the best tag teams in wrestling history. Like, they're both like phenomenal teams.
Well, yeah, I mean the rivalry alone between them,
Dude, it's like one of the best. It's like so good.
Yeah,
It's so good. And that's why if we watch that match by itself, it still would have been really good. But
right.
we've been watching the whole thing, right? From
We
the
have
first,
absolute full context. Yeah.
and it makes it like that much better. It was, I mean, it's just so good. And I think it's something we're going to be mentioning and referencing for years to come. I mean, it's just, we're going to be like, remember that match at Turning Point? Like, because it's that good.
Sure.
And it's disappointing that Triple X is going to be splitting up, but I do think, realistically, we got two new really great guys that'll probably be strictly X Division, and I'm totally fine with that because I think
Yeah.
they're both
I
really
would
good.
imagine.
So,
Do you think that we'll get a team now to debut to replace Triple X?
I think we need to.
Like, I would imagine we would.
I think we need to.
So I think we should keep an eye on that. If like
That's really good to know. Yeah.
Potentially substitute for them.
Yeah, I like that idea. I got two more notes here, and then we're gonna get going on the show. So, and these are not, but we've covered Turning Point. We're done. Ooh, killed it. Awesome. We'll probably reference it again, but notes and stuff. I really enjoyed Dave's breakdown of this. I think it was super good. So I'm assuming it'll happen more. So we'll be kind of doing a similar format going forward for after the impacts after pay-per-views. And I'm only telling you these other two notes, Bob, because they're a little more long form and trying to talk about it during the show. I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
So, Jerry Jarrett and Bob Carter met can't talk. Jerry Jarrett and Bob Carter met in Nashville this past week, with Jarrett trying to propose a new budget that would greatly cut back on costs in order to convince Carter to stay in for the long haul. Now, the company was happy with how the pay-per-view did, which is a positive. They're claiming they have confirmed agreements for $3 million in ad sales for 2005, which, with other cutbacks, could see the company break even at 45,000 to 50,000 pay-per-view buys per month. Although that's still going to be a very difficult figure for them to average monthly. And he kind of breaks that down a little bit, kind of compares it to some ECW and even some WWE stuff like that with their ad sales and all that kind of stuff. But TNA right now averages about a 0.18 plus whatever Explosion brings in, which is probably next to nothing, or maybe 30 times lower. Plus, WWE is a marquee name brand, and TNA is unproven. While TNA won't be getting the 8 p.m. Monday night Best Damn Sports Show period weekly tie-in show that they were hoping for, since the ratings didn't come in as they needed, they are talking with Fox Sports Net about doing some primetime specials on the show. Even with the exposure coming out of the first show, the buy rate appears to be well down from the second show, and that's with the good first Sunday pay-per-view. The January show will be interesting because you really can't expect to have a better pay-per-view show than they did this past weekend. If buys don't increase, then good quality pay-per-view shows can't save the company by itself. Among the things being talked about now are to move the Friday Impact show from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., which is slightly better, but really only slightly, as well as adding a Saturday midnight replay show and adding Explosion in a weekday afternoon time slot. If FSN gives them the slots, they are okay. But if they are paying extra for the additional time slots, and I'm presuming that would be the case, the extra expense is nothing they are going to make back through advertising. They are also trying to come up with celebrity involvement ideas, since WWE was put on the mainstream map by Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper and Mike Tyson for the catalyst of its biggest period in wrestling, or in history, not wrestling, but I guess also hit wrestling. Of course, celebrities also in the long run hurt WCW more than it helped them, so it's hardly a guarantee. So
I just looked up the ECW pay-per-views buy rates, and so you're saying that they'd have to do between 45 and 50. Mm-hmm. Now, and I understand this is a different era, wrestling is at its hottest, arguably in 97, 98, 99, 2000. But so let's just say from 98, ECW's first pay-per-view in 98, which is Living Dangerously, until the end. Now, the final 6 pay-per-views, there's no public record, but I'm going to assume that it's over that time. Every pay-per-view got 53,000 or more approximate buys. The last documented one being Living Dangerously 2000 got 95,000.
Wow.
Now, context here is as well. Okay, they are on ECW and they are on TNN. Yeah, for a few of these. From the September one, that's a lie. From November of 99, which is November to March, and they got 80, 80, and 95. Wow. Now, again, the other ones are not documented. TNA being on at 3 o'clock on a Friday probably isn't going to help.
No. But dude, 4 o'clock, it could.
Give me a break. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why like they don't do better on pay-per-view. I think that's always been kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
So we look at so Victory Road got 25,000. And then Turning Point, these are approximate, I think. Do you know how much Turning Point got?
I don't know if I have official numbers. Because even Victory Road, I think originally was like, they were saying it was like 30 or so, or 35.
Okay, Victory Road, yeah, they say 25,000. And then Turning Point apparently got 20.
That's actually not, if that's actually official numbers from later on, I mean, or close to it, that's not bad of a drop, really.
No, it's not. But then you look at, I'm literally looking at the history here for TNA, at least through 2010. They come absolutely nowhere near
50, right? Yeah.
For the majority of the run. There's a couple of them that get a bump up here, but they're just not even close.
Yeah, so once again, this is going to add to our discussions of, we're going to just talk every few months. It's going to be like, hey guys, this is it. This is the end. Of course, it never ends up being the end.
You know what? I know this is kind of a discussion that has happened a lot. Do you think it could be the name? The brand of TNA?
Okay. If you ask Eric Bischoff, he says yes.
I think it could.
I think there's a chance. I don't know. It's so hard, man. I don't know. It's hard to answer that. I don't know. It's hard because it's hard for someone like me who's like, or really, I guess you could say both of us, where it's like, when I think of TNA, I just think of wrestling, like total nonstop action. Like that's the first thing I think of, because it's just so ingrained in our head of like, oh, it's this wrestling company. Whereas like, I feel like this is something we have to ask one of our friends who like doesn't watch. Be like, hey, if you heard of like a wrestling company called TNA, like what do you think that is? Like, is that?
No, I don't think you can even say wrestling company. I think you
yeah, but see, their name does have, it's TNA Wrestling though.
Yeah, but if you were to order the pay-per-view, it'd say TNA Turning Point.
Are you sure it doesn't say TNA Wrestling Presents Turning Point?
I don't.
I see what I mean. I don't know.
Right, I think they would change that down the line to be more like, hey, it's a wrestling show. It's not porn or something.
Well, because remember early on, like the logo just said, I mean, it said TNA, it said Total Nonstop Action small underneath. But then eventually when they switched the logo, they added the wrestling like underneath it. So like, I feel like that was almost maybe an attempt of like, hey, it's wrestling. And then of course they dropped the fucking dancers and stuff, which kind of helps with that.
Well, that was the guy on Fox Sports Net though.
Well, yeah, but that I think helps with like the connotation of like, okay, you have girls dancing in like not a lot of clothes in cages. and your name is TNA. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, for a while they were like in the intro video. You know what I mean? So it's like they were definitely giving you that kind of influence, but I don't know. It's something I think about sometimes too. But I mean, like I said, if you ask Eric Bischoff, the answer is yes. Definitely affected it. Because he said that before. But once again, Eric Bischoff sometimes is full of shit, so it's hard to tell.
I do think to some extent he might have a point. I just know, like, for me, I would just tell my parents, like my mom or something, it's a wrestling show, and then she would quickly realize that it is a wrestling show when it was ordered, and it's like on the TV.
Oh, maybe that is why then.
I don't know. There's this.
No, definitely
something to think of. I mean, this company gets like huge stars, and then there's just no growth in that department.
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just a little weird.
What else is interesting is Jeff Jarrett not losing the title, which is about my final note here. Okay. And it's kind of a reference to our last Impact show, which we've kind of glossed over, just because Turning Point happened so quickly, and there's just been a lot of shit going on, as we all know. But really, the biggest thing that came out of the last episode of Impact was Jeff Jarrett facing off against Monty Brown for the NWA Heavyweight title. Right. Which I think we kind of keep forgetting happened because they literally did it 2 days before Victory Road. We happened to have Victory Road, and now we're a week later. Well, Dave has a brief note about this, and I figured it was worth bringing up because that's the biggest thing that happened on that show. Jeff Jarrett did one hell of a job in his TV bout for the NWA title with Monty Brown. It was the best match I've ever seen Brown in, and while Brown deserves the credit, you could really see Jarrett's ability here, as they went 13 minutes and 2 seconds, and if anything, it was too short rather than too long, and that's saying a lot when Dave says, I've never seen Brown in a good match past 7 minutes. And he notes that perhaps removing all the stress and time from booking and running things will get his work back to what it once was. He's talking about Jeff Jarrett specifically there. And now he does say, though, that he still needs to lose the title far worse than he can understand, but that's a different issue. And he kind of breaks down the match a little bit more, which we watched it, and it's kind of old at this point, so we don't really need to go through. But he notes that there is still talk of putting the title on Brown, as Rhodes likes him, and possibly going with Jarrett versus Brown in February. But Jarrett and Brown had built such a hot crowd and damn good match where people actually cared about the title, and then they ruined it, and in the end, had no impact other than a lot of insiders raised their stock on Brown quite a bit as far as a future potential. So, at least, hopefully that'll help him out a little bit, kind of going in the future. But I think, Bob, I'm sure that really covers everything we need to before the show. It's a longer form intro, absolutely, than we've been used to. But I think that his insight for Turning Point and this kind of stuff was really nice to hear. So.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised that Dusty likes Monty Brown. It would be interesting to see if they go with it for February. And would they put the title on Monty Brown in February?
Is it too late? What do you do with him until then? I almost think if Savage is out, he is, that maybe we should think about January at Final Resolution. Because Brown had that last title match.
He's had what? He's had one title match?
Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then he didn't lose. He lost, but it wasn't clean.
I think they could do it for Final Resolution easily. I'm worried that February is too far away.
Nah, see, I don't think it's too far away.
I just don't know what do you do with Monty in the meantime. Just have him squash people? Or like what? Earn his shot again? He's got to go through everyone. Bound for Glory series. Against all odds series, I guess.
No, I think what you do, you could realistically, Dallas, you could probably have this go until March.
Oh.
For Monty Brown.
Okay.
Because I would, like, let's say on this Impact, and we'll get in here in a minute. I just want to get this out of the way. Yeah. I think that you set up Monty Brown as the next legitimate threat, somebody that Jarrett is terrified of.
Mm-hmm.
January could be Monty Brown against Scott Hall. Monty Brown beats Scott Hall. February could be Monty Brown against Kevin Nash. He beats Nash.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah.
And then March could be the showdown with Jarrett.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in April, which we know is will be a big pay-per-view, you could have a Team Monty Brown against Team Jarrett. In that
okay, we could spread this out. Yeah. Okay, I'm for it.
So, I mean, that's to me, that's what you should be doing with guys like Hall and Nash, putting people over. Now, I know we've talked about having them win the tag titles and fight America's Most Wanted, which you could still do, whatever. But if you have Monty Brown just go through the Kings of Wrestling and win the title, I think that
I'm cool with that.
That'd be pretty compelling.
It'd be huge for Brown too to get wins over those guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Homegrown guy pinning Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and shit. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Let's get into the December 10th, 2004 edition of TNA Impact. The runtime for this is approximately 51 minutes and 57 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to Impact Plus, or you can find it in your own personal collection, if that is something that you tend to do. I'm going to count down from 3. When I say play, that is when I'm going to hit the play button, and then we'll watch the show together. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
This is TNA. Bob, just so you know, as I mentioned previously, I don't have any explosion notes for quite some time. Oh, we're showing the flashbacks of Vince McMahon and Triple H at Turning Point, smashing the tape. Yeah, so no explosion notes. I have no dark match notes. A reminder that this is a double taping, so they probably, if they did them, at least nothing of note in the Observer.
Okay.
What the fuck? That's the preview we get? They have the Vince McMahon smashing the tape, and then we go right into the intro.
You said that explosion was more like a magazine recap show now, right?
Yeah. That's what's being said, at least. Mind you, I have no evidence of this, but...
Right. I have no idea either.
Okay, dude, we're still got the shitty intro, so guys, you still have a good-ass intro song because I'm not updating it until we get a better song. I'm just not doing it.
So we're not using this song?
No, I can't. It's so boring.
Yeah, it adds no excitement.
It sounds so generic, so...
Yeah.
Bob, here in the Impact Zone, we got 700 people. So pretty full, but not completely. Now, I want you to keep that number in mind because when we talk about some notes in coming weeks, I don't think next week, I think the week after probably, you're going to hear that number vary a little bit. You're probably wondering why. I'll just give you a spoiler. A lot of people start to leave.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Apparently at the second taping, there's a lot less people.
For this? Like, so the 17th episode, a lot of people have left.
Apparently.
What?
We'll see. I don't
tell them to like stick around.
We're at Down West and Mike TNA. Turning Point was so exciting. Oh, let's hear. Oh, AJ Styles versus Hector Garza in the main event.
That's not bad.
Why don't you say we go to the ring? Oh, Hal Sabin.
Oh.
Wait a second.
That's not Chris Sabin.
That's Mikey Batts. What in the world? Why is he coming
out to Chris Sabin's music?
Are they gonna like team up? Is this a tag match?
I think that's a production fuck up.
You gotta be shitting me. Mikey Batts just came out to Chris Sabin's theme song, and it's like has his name in it.
That was weird. Maybe they think that he looks so much like him that they could just play it off.
God. He looks like he's facing off against the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
He's got his singles wrestler.
Yeah, and they're even pointing that out. He's got his elbow taped up. I gotta say,
how's his forehead?
It looks pretty fucking normal compared to what it probably should be looking
you
like.
can kind of see the. I don't think he's got stitches, but it looks like he might have been like glued up a little bit.
Kurt's immediately chanting for the fallen angel here. Kind of a random little singles match, but that's fine. I don't know if I would have put Daniels on yet. I feel like I would have considered keeping kind of Triple X off TV for a little while.
Well, I don't know if I'd keep him off TV. I think this is a sign that they want to use Daniels in a prominent role in a singles way.
Don't you think he should be a little distraught? I feel like I'd be like distraught. Like,
I mean, you can be distraught and still.
Yeah, but then casually come out and open Impact. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a promo after this and have him be like, "It sucks," but like,
Bats just slipped. He went to like a pop up. I'm assuming he's gonna then go to like a hurricane run, but he slipped on Daniel's shoulders and fell down. So they're really talking about 6 sides of steel here. We're getting the results scroll at the bottom of the screen. And they are, of course, hyping up the replay of the show, which you can order right now at all your pay-per-view providers.
In case you're wondering, there's one indie note, and it's not until the main event.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just a heads up so people don't think I forgot.
That's good to know, and I would probably call you on it at some point, too. So, I have a couple notes we'll discuss during the show here. Nothing super wild, but there is some pretty interesting. What's the word? Pretty interesting. I can't think of the word. Something interesting's going on with someone. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Daniels definitely has a very small bandage on his forehead where he was busted open from that cage match.
A reminder: it was dripping from his forehead, like literal pouring out of his forehead.
As he's clubbing away here on Mikey Batts with some forearms. Mikey Batts firing back with some right hands in the corner. Not great punches.
No, it's
Meltzer's out here judging punches.
Oh,
caught him on a cross body with a backbreaker, gutbuster combo there.
Oh, he's calling for it. He's gonna hit the Angel's wings.
I mean, I really like Daniels' look.
He's great. There we go.
He could
Split like moonsault.
No, he kind of missed him. He could be more than just an X Division guy if he was.
I think so.
Give it a chance here.
I definitely think that. Is the crowd chanting for Mikey now? So Daniels is trying to work a little more heel, so the crowd is mad at him. You gotta get the replay, dude.
He sends him hard into the corner. Would we think that Daniels is a babyface at all?
He's got a black eye.
How does it make him a babyface?
I was just pointing that out. No, I think he'd still be a bad guy.
I think if anybody comes out of that match on Triple X as a babyface, it would be Skipper.
Yeah.
I
think so too.
That's with the boot in the corner. Now he's going middle rope drop kick. This match is going on far longer than I thought.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
They collide on stereo shoulder block.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really digging this match, man. I don't think this is the way to open up Impact.
I don't think that Mikey Batts should be going 4 minutes with Daniels. I like competitive matches, but I don't think Mikey Batts in his singles roles at that level. They just messed up a press slam thing there. Batts going for a suplex, and he just awkwardly did like a DDT for a 2 count.
Well, they started me off thinking they got Chris Sabin coming out, and then he didn't.
Right, we got
and that's there. Like kind of my biggest issue here.
Do you think that they're trying to make it? I mean, Daniels hasn't really wrestled singles, so that's why it's taking him longer to win.
It could be.
Is he hit a STL there? And by STO, I mean a flatliner, kind of. Damn it. STO is when he lands on his back. He went face first, but he didn't jump like a flatliner would.
Oh, he just stared at the crowd like, screw you guys, and then they immediately started to boo him. Oh, Angel's Wings? Let's see. 1 hook. 2 hooks. Boom. Oh, that was pretty good.
I should do it. 1, 2, 3.
Look at that. 5 minutes on the dot.
Oh.
Okay. Nice job, Christopher Daniels. Hey, you just pushed Mike Posey. That's $10,000. Wait a second. What's this? Oh, shit. The Last Rites. I couldn't remember the name.
Well, if this was WCW, that would be the roll of the dice with Reno. Sounds like that's the next feud. Reno's going to make his return to wrestling.
Oh, God.
You're stealing my move.
Who's this? Oh, my God. It's Diamond Dallas Page. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. Outsiders.
Yo, it's DDP. Thought you'd be bigger. Kevin Nash goes, I heard you were dead. I saw your match the other night. So Raven kick out of the Diamond Cutter, and Kevin Nash is like, he goes, well, at least I didn't lose that match, though. He makes a joke about his monster shirt that he keeps wearing with his white tracksuit. Oh, Kevin Nash grabbed him and he went to walk away after they shook hands. One thing. Stay out of our business. We'll stay out of yours. So I wouldn't have it any other way. Bob, I do have a note quick about DDP.
This just screams like WCW bootleg shit.
Yeah. Dude, it was the Millionaires Club. Don't you fucking wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Wrong. Kevin Nash and DDP are former tag champions, the Insiders.
Oh, shit, that's right.
You know what I mean? So it's like they were friends, allies at one point.
Well, that's probably why he stopped and just casually talked to him. We're getting the awesome Final Resolution video package that we saw at
I do like the video package. I do.
It's noted here that Dave says that DDP is earning more money with TNA than he ever earned in WWE. Just so everyone's
DDP is?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How much are they paying him?
I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
What the fuck? Well, I know he took a pay cut to go to WWE.
We're getting flashbacks to Turning Point, which I have a feeling, Bob, get ready. I bet you we see a similar package at least 3 other times during this show. They're doing the pause thing where they like pause it.
It's pay-per-view. You got to watch it on pay-per-view to see the tax.
With a crowd reaction.
That's Luther Reigns.
No, that one was Rey Mysterio.
That would be Rey Mysterio. I know. It's a joke. The Reigns is not that short.
Oh my God, the picture of Skipper up on the page. Go to TNAWrestling.com for the full. Do that. Okay, we're getting a nice crowd shot. Talking about the return of Johnny Devine. Team Canada walked out with the tag team titles. Oh, we're going backstage. Coach some more Team Canada with Shane Douglas. So they're celebrating. We're the jubilant Team Canada. Here's Johnny Devine. Rumors of his demise are greatly exaggerated. I'd be rude on the mic here, but he doesn't. You talk a lot, I feel like, this time. telling the DOA to line him up. Petey Williams saying, well, you were worried about coming up with a counter. I told you I had one thing up my sleeve. Scott D'Amore saying, back home, it's a party. We got all the gold. Oh. There's one piece of gold missing. The NWA World Championship. Jeff Jarrett, your notice is served. Is Johnny Devine going to fight for the NWA title?
I can't believe that Team Canada would even threaten that.
Right. So we just saw Johnny Devine there, and you'll be glad to know that Johnny Devine is back in the ring as well as after being stabbed. With his first match back scheduled, it was on December 8th in Nashville, working USA Championship Wrestling in Nashville as a tag team with Cassidy Riley as the new Hot Shots.
For Devine?
Yes. His first match back.
That would be, you know what, that would be interesting. I wonder if Brian Turner, friend of the show,
I'm wondering, yeah,
would have any footage of that. He's been releasing some footage from USA Championship Wrestling.
We have the team of Michael Shane and Frankie Kazarian, and it looks like they're about to fight the winners of that incredible cage match. America's Most Wanted. They're limping. They're bandaged up, though.
Yeah, Harris has a bandage. He's holding his ribs. Did not tape his ribs.
No, there's like a bandage on his ribs. Not like a normal wrap. Yeah, you'll see it. Like, see?
Oh, I see it right there. Yeah. Well, he didn't tape him up like DDP would.
No.
I hope Storm has a bandage too. I didn't see that. Now, here's the thing. Realistically, it might not be a popular decision here, but I may be inclined to put Kazarian and Shane over.
Oh, get out of here.
Well, I'm only saying this because the two guys you're wrestling are clearly injured.
Yeah.
After a cage match, they're heavily bandaged. They're not 100%. You're a tag team. Why not put them over? You have a built-in excuse, and then you could have a rematch on pay-per-view when they're healthy or something.
And of course, Michael Shane here is still Michael Shane. We discussed this in depth on our Turning Point episode of the dub overs on the pay-per-view version.
Yeah, that was with the
DVD version.
Of Lance.
Lance, right? Yeah. It's super interesting stuff because we're sitting here, what's going on?
Yeah, I remember reading about them having to dub it over.
Which is interesting though, because as we discussed on Victory Road, we were not watching the DVD version, and he still was Matt Bentley, I think, on that one, wasn't he?
He was definitely Matt Bentley.
And then we watched the pay-per-view version. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah. So Turning Point was the DVD version, which was dubbed over, but Victory Road was the regular release, and they had noted him as right. That was Bentley, because on the Best Damn Sports Show thing, it was back to Michael Shane.
And we were like, what the heck's happening?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And as I've said before, in July of 2005 on a cyberspace show, he does say, I'm Matt Bentley. So he at some point officially changes it in both TNA and not in TNA.
Nice slingshot leg drop there, but Kazarian gets a 2 count though. I believe on Storm, is it in the ring? I wasn't paying attention. Oh no, that's Harris. That's Harris. No, it's not. No, it is. It's Harris. It's Harris. It's Harris.
It's the SATs all over again. We don't know which one. They both have bandages.
Interesting note, though, just to follow up on this whole situation, as I noted on our Turning Point episode, you could watch it on Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel for free. They have the original. I looked it up, and they call him Michael Shane.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, pretty interesting. If you're wondering, why aren't you guys watching on YouTube? I don't want to deal with the ads. I don't want to watch it over the internet, guys.
I don't have YouTube Premium, and I don't want to.
I have the trial still, and it's pretty freaking great. But
I know. I mean, I'm really contemplating on just doing it. Because is it still $10?
So that I don't know. It might be more than that. If it is, I don't know. Match is falling apart here, but Michael Shane has control over Harris. James Stormer's trying to stop it. Rudy Charles can barely control these guys right now as we're heading toward the 3-minute mark in this match. Driving the knee into the injured ribs.
You know what? I think it's funny that the name is such an issue for Michael Shane for a guy named Mike Shane in WWE when Mike Shane lasts like not even 3 months.
That's just how it goes, man.
It's so weird. Double gut buster here on Chris Harris.
The best X Division tag team in the world today is what they call themselves. I prefer the coolest tag team in the world, but whatever.
Yeah, is that their team name? The best X Division tag team in the world?
Yeah, that's why they can't fit that on the Fox box, but
they could do it like with the world's greatest tag team, how they would just do WGTT.
Yeah.
Best X Division tag team, BXTT.
Oh, all they're up, Harris. Oh, shit. Drop kick by Kazarian. Knocking him off his feet.
With 1 foot. Storm making the save. I mean, I really like Kazarian and Shane as a tag team.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do. And I think that if you put them over here and then by the end of the show be like, AEW's demanded a rematch when they're at full health at Final Resolution. That is, I think...
Big number 1 contender match there.
Why not? Who cares? Yeah. Add some stakes to it.
They definitely need some more heel teams to go against. Now, reminder, they were promised that they would be fighting the Outsiders. So, are the Outsiders going to win the titles? I don't know. With Team Canada having them now, I don't know.
Would you have AMW win the titles on Impact again and then fight the Outsiders at Final Resolution?
No, because then the Outsiders are just going to squash them.
I think it'd be too soon to do that.
They were promised that they get to fight the Outsiders for the titles and then beat them. That's what I want to happen.
They would beat them the first match?
I don't know.
Oh, Storm with a hot tag. Cleaning house with the right hands. Fans are going nuts. Yanks down Shane by his hair. Kazarian's like, I'm not leaving the corner. Power slam by Storm. 1, 2, but no. Kazarian kicks out. Hammer away on Michael Shane. Going for a scoop slam. No. Shane with a counter. Collides with Kazarian in the corner. Storm's got to roll up. Shane rolls through. He's got the tights. But he cannot get it. Storm kicks out at 2. Kazarian with the blockbuster. Who is this? Buff Bagwell? I can't believe this. Chris Harris is on the top rope. Flying crossbody like he's Ricky Steamboat. But Michael Shane clothesline him like he's JBL.
JBL. He's going to come out in the limo and everything.
He's going for a super kick. Watch out. Extreme Domination? Is that what they just said?
Oh, yeah. The leg sweep super kick combo, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Spinebuster by Harris.
He's calling for the death sentence.
Yeah.
They're saying they don't know if Wildcat Chris Harris can do it.
Looks like he's doing it, no problem there, Don. And he hits it on Kazarian. That was a good match.
Yeah, that was good.
I feel like I would have sold the injuries more and have them lose. I don't know. I think I'm a bad booker.
Well, you have a good Monty Brown idea and a bad tag team idea. That's fine.
They all can't be winners. Lance, let me know. Do you think it would be a good idea if to have AMW lose? Jordan, let me know. Make me feel better about myself.
See for yourself why WWE threatened to sue TNA over this footage.
Here's the thing, Dallas. They're saying see the footage. You're showing it.
Yeah, they're showing kind of the whole thing here.
Yeah, there's not even stills or anything. You're literally showing it. You're fired. Oh, I thought that was a different thing. No, here's footage from Impact last week on the 3rd, where Jeff Jarrett delivered a guitar shot, the stroke. Monty Brown's like, you can't keep me down. Pounced him. Not the greatest pounce, though. kind of sideswiped him there. Chair shot. Another chair shot over the head. And they don't show the pin, which is fine.
Alpha Male is at the center of Genesis.
Are they teasing the title match right now, you think? For the pay-per-view?
I don't know. This is definitely hyping up some Monty Brown stuff here. That was kind of weird. And it just ended.
Yeah.
NYC.
Gilberti, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Dude, if Trinity's actually done, I'm bummed.
Well, you know, I think it's just bizarre that... Okay, I can understand to an extent where Tina's coming from. It's a week out, and you're
from a pay-per-view.
Unadvertised 6-person tag, by the way. It wasn't even advertised.
Right.
But, you know, she's got an opportunity to be a stunt double on a movie, which is arguably her career choice, more so than wrestling. And you're going to punish her and be like, well, then we just won't use you anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, I agree. Here comes the Alpha Male, Monty Brown.
His ribs are taped.
Yep.
He was not in the cage match, in case you're wondering.
I mean, I guess I can kind of give you the note I have. It's not really about him, but it's kind of related to the match you just had at Turning Point here. It's about, actually, Jim Mitchell and Abyss. You're wondering, well, we kind of talked about the idea there. Oh, Gilberti running right after him. Well, apparently the plan for Jim Mitchell and Abyss, which appears to be out the window again, so apparently that's not happening anymore. It was for Mitchell to play the role of a 60s circus carnival barker with a top hat and cane.
Oh, my God.
And he was going to have a booth. Oh, shit, the pounce.
Oh, my God. We're 20 seconds in. You just
Wait,
pounced.
I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Is he about to just win?
That's fantastic.
Okay, that was good. Okay, wow. I would have waited if I knew. Crowd's going nuts because of how fast that just was. That was like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice pounce, too.
The crowd definitely likes Monty Brown. Even if they're being told to cheer, they're still cheering.
Wow.
That's good.
Okay. Well, that happened. Oh. Mike Tenay's with the Alpha Male. Hold on. I'll continue my note in a minute, guys. Let's see. 1 week ago, they're bringing up the title match. Mike Tenay. You know that coming close isn't good enough. Now, Jeff Jarrett, you know who the Alpha Male is now. He's talking about cracked ribs, hitting the bricks, hit with stones. Took a guitar shot. He took the stroke, and he's still standing. I will not be stopped, Jeff Jarrett. I don't like that they're playing his music in the background behind him talking.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're not just like fading out on me.
Oh, he's just talking about Scott Hall and shit too, dude. Maybe you're onto something.
See? Look.
Kevin Nash, look, telling him to kiss his ass or whatever. Just animals on the endangered species list. Oh, it's his destiny. Somebody will get the pounds.
Period.
Wow. Dude. Is he going to fight him at Final Resolution now?
I mean, it certainly would appear that he might be the next man up.
Yeah, we'll see. Here, we got a video again about Final Resolution. So let me finish this. So they want the circus guy for Jim Mitchell, and he's going to have a booth that says "The Monster Abyss," all chained up behind the curtain. Now, the idea was silly enough to promote as the new heel in the 80s for Hulk Hogan, but it's pretty ludicrous for a character who has been a regular part of a TV show for 2 years. That was largely the consensus among people who saw the top hat, was told to buy that he was essentially looked too campy. Mitchell told people that he couldn't understand why he couldn't just manage Abyss as himself.
Yeah.
So, well, at the last taping with Rhodes having taken over as booker, Mitchell was told that there was no plans for him. He wasn't happy since he took a day off of work to come to the taping, and he didn't get paid since he wasn't used. So, once again, the angle appears that it may have already been dropped. Reading all these quotes on screen now, too. Far better than anything WWE has done in years. I missed the other quotes because I was reading, but...
something about, like, they kicked ass and...
It's the most extreme move I've ever seen. Log on to TNAWrestling.com for the complete replay schedule. Uh-oh, here comes Jarrett. So, Bob, what do you think? Do you think Jim Mitchell should be a carnival guy and Abyss is chained up in a booth?
No.
No, me either, but I could definitely see it happening.
I mean, I could see it happening too, but just there's no reason to make it anything other than what it is or should be. And it's his father, James Mitchell. Sinister Minister, whatever you want to call him.
Jeff Jarrett is coming out here alone. No Kings of Wrestling by his side.
He's not in wrestling gear. So he's probably just going to come out here and chat.
So today's mentioning it. I was wondering if maybe them showing Kevin Nash and Scott Hall separately without him right now was maybe like they're kind of hinting at them just being going to do tag team stuff and Jarrett being singles heavyweight guy again. So they're not doing like a 3-way, but
I would imagine they're a stable.
Well, yeah, but like showing them separate to be like, this is the tag team.
Oh yeah.
Jarrett with the pyro out of the guitar is stupid as shit. I hate that.
I don't like it
either. By the way, that was my final note of today's show. So
wow, 20 minutes is fair.
I know. What am I gonna do? Was I staying here? He's wearing his Chosen One glasses, the orange frames. Or orange lenses.
Is he gonna shit on Savage?
He's got one thing to say. I'm still king of the mountain. Planet Jarrett is still the biggest thing in the TNA universe. And he's still the champion. Oh, TNA, shut up. He goes, can't be denied.
Every second of every hour of every day. You've hated that I'm the NWA
for everything.
champion. That's true.
Hulk Hogan. Sting. AJ Styles.
No mention of Savage.
He's pinned all their shoulders to the mat. What a checklist.
Or he just ran them out of the company. Oh. 5 weeks away after today.
Wow.
On resolution.
That's so crazy.
Jarrett sucks, champ. I mean, I will say he does get heat.
No, he does. Not many people can do it better. He's got a question for everyone. Who is there left to face the King of the Mountain?
Nobody's left.
He said no one. Nobody's worthy.
Can't wait. Here you go. Ready? Modest. To the top. Give me another shot, Jeff.
God, don't give him ideas. Oh, he's gonna give us some news that we can choke on.
Here we go. Randy Savage is left.
Choke on this, okay? Okay, give it to us. This is going forever.
Gotta drag it out.
He hopes the championship committee is listening. TNA goes, that's Dusty Rhodes. Oh, shit. He said final resolution. He's not defending his title. There's not a contract he has to defend it. And all of a sudden, Dusty's coming out. Hold that. Okay, Dusty's out here now. TNA is his world, and you better back out of it.
Defend against Dusty. Bunkhouse brawl.
We just saw the greatest pay-per-view in this industry's history. I don't have to back off of it. Cuts Jarrett off. Shut up! If January 16th on Final Resolution.
What?
Oh. Dusty says he's got a contract that Russo and Jarrett both signed.
Why would Russo sign something for January?
Oh, shut up!
It's weird.
When I get a call in a few days, the whole world will know who you will wrestle at Final Resolution. Don't make me come down there as old as I am to whip your ass. So, we're waiting on a phone call. No mention of Randy Savage at all in that promo.
Zero.
I'd like to point out, I don't even know if many of the... I don't think any of these highlight videos have really been showing him either, are they? Interesting.
Let's see. Well, here, we'll find out here in this video package. The same one they've shown at least 2 other times, I think.
Nope, this is still the 6-man. There's some thumbtacks. I like the crowd shot. They go show the slam, and then it just goes right to the crowd.
ADP, Jacqueline. Skipper walking the cage. There we go, there's Jarrett.
Nothing. Just shows the Kings of Wrestling. This year, my resolution is to become a better musician. To improve my table manners. To climb the corporate ladder. To lend a shoulder to a friend in need. Our resolution. TNA Wrestling presents Final Resolution. And that's Tracy. What's your resolution? Showing some highlights of the DDP Raven match. Full video footage.
I was going to say, not stills. That's interesting.
That's weird.
Erik Watts getting involved.
Are they going to pause it when he goes to clothesline DDP? No. Okay, so we don't have to watch the replay for this match.
Yeah. Which was, again, rendered useless because he gets diamond coated.
Dude, yeah, he literally did nothing. It's me. It's me. It's DDP. Speaking of, now he's got security all around him. He's backstage walking in. Oh, Shane Douglas grabs him. Great match between you guys, and DDP goes, yeah, it was, wasn't it? What else do you expect from someone like me and Raven? Ask him about Erik Watts. Wait, Raven's here. Don't make me kick your teeth down your throat again. Raven tells him to settle down. He looks in his eyes. He's like, you don't know, do you? You're willing to forgive the unforgivable. He said, you don't know about the thing. Interesting. He goes, is there anyone that knows how to stir the pot better than Raven? Ridiculous. So Raven was just teasing something else with Erik Watts that DDP doesn't know. Oh, here's the quote video again. The fans have spoken about Turning Point. It's interesting to note in the cage match videos, they're showing it in like sepia tone.
Yeah.
The greatest cage match I've ever seen. And that's because of the blood, by the way, if you didn't pick up on that. Order the replay. It kicked money sign ampersand.
Which meant ass.
I don't know, dude. Oh, there wasn't too many other things. And also, that quote, I think, was that it was like 5 stars or something.
Yeah.
And then better than anything WWE's done in years. If you guys are following along, by the way, we're at 39:39. Or, if you're Bob, 12 minutes, 13 seconds left on the show.
That's right.
We still got our main event, Hector Garza, AJ Styles.
That should be a good match.
Yeah. Okay, lots of
these
ordering the replay.
Driving me nuts.
Quite a bit. We came by to say hi to them. They want to threaten to sue us.
You're fired. Oh, here's Erik Watts.
What the heck? So he just hugged Raven, yep. And he's like, I'm talking to Paige. You talking to the Diamond Dip, the hard head? He's telling Erik Watts that DDP's still disrespecting him. Okay, I'm cool with that. Now you got to bring up the Diamond Dip. He's saying, yeah, you're right. There's no respect. Let me say this. He will feel the bang, the respect, because I can. He said he's going to get the respect down. Raven just keeps saying, you're going to have to hurt him, man. You're going to have to hurt him. What the heck? Hurt him.
Is he going to hurt him tonight?
Raven saying, you're going to pay, Paige. You're going to pay. It's really interesting, though, that you say that, because DDP's walking into the show, and it's almost over.
Well, he was walking, and he met up with National Hall, and then he was walking back in again? I don't understand.
Okay, so we're getting a bilingual announce team right now. Mike Tenay, and I missed this guy's name. Melendez is his last name, I believe I heard. Part of the Spanish announce team. Moody Jack. Wow. Okay, so Don West not on the call for this main event, it seems. Hector Garza, captain of Team Mexico. I'm not sure I brag about that. Okay, so I'm only going to be able to hear part of what they say because I do not speak Spanish. Bob does a little bit, though, so.
I don't.
Oh.
I know absolutely nothing.
Oh, they're saying there's some stakes to this, Bob.
Which they'll talk about in a minute. What is it, though? I need to know now. What? Here we go.
The only Triple Crown winner in TNA history.
If Ron Killings were to win the X Division Championship, he would be the second.
What?
Oh, man.
Shit. The winner of this faces Jeff Jarrett next week.
What the?
Okay, so whoever wins also is going to move up a lot in the X Division and heavyweight title rankings.
Okay. Hey, so is AJ going to win? This is a 15-minute time limit, by the way. But
oh, wow. Wait, that's so different, too.
And now it's going again. So it was at 15. Is it because it's the number one contender? Or is the main event always 15?
No, dude, it's not. Did they say it was for the title against Jarrett, or they're just fighting him?
No, they're just saying that they're going to wrestle.
Okay.
So they would wrestle Jeff Jarrett, and then they would also move up in the ranks of the NWA World Title and X Division Championship.
Flip the leg of Styles. Styles goes down, and arm drag. Oh, another arm drag, but that one's from Styles. And he goes to another one, but Hector Garza counters. Garza is significantly larger than Styles, mind you.
Yes.
I mean, Garza appears that he should be in the heavyweight division anyways. Oh, Styles just kind of threw him out of the ring. Styles. Slingshot crossbody. He hit the crossbody. Moody Jack, we're taking a break. And we're getting another order of the replay, just for the record. So if you guys haven't done it yet, I'm going to say, go listen to our last episode. And hey, if you enjoy our episodes, follow us on the social media pages at Cross the Line TNA over on Twitter. Also, you can search our YouTube that way as well, I believe. You can like us on Facebook at TNA Cross the Line Pod. You can follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms. And if you really like us, and we know that you do if you keep listening, leave us a review wherever you listen to that podcast. Oh, and I forgot, we can't forget, ProWrestlingTees.com/CrossTheLineTNA. Buy a shirt. It's pretty cool. Bob worked to Bound for Glory, and he got so many compliments. Like, yo, does that looks like the sex shirt? And we were like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, we can pretend that happened.
It did. The girls, the screaming girls, liked it. Okay, so we're back, and Styles has control. It looked like he was trying to go for a Styles clash, but Garza is countering. Oh, almost like a monkey flip over the top rope. Also, it was demanded. There's a 15-minute time limit in this one. Oh. Baseball slide. Both guys are down on the floor. And Hector Garza throws Styles back into the ring.
Ooh, kicks to the thigh.
Moody Jack is correcting TNA on how he's saying moves because they're Spanish names.
Styles dumps Garza to the apron. His forearm goes to the top rope, does Garza. A clean-shaven Garza.
Whoa!
Who does he think? Sammy Guevara?
I know. I never seen Garza do that. Impressive. Slam Styles down. Goes for a cover. Nope. Rudy, come on. That was 3 almost, maybe. Talking about Garza holding championship belts all over the world. Oh. Romero special. Nice surfboard stretch. Oh. Oh shit! He like stood up, did it again. Fucking brutal. Look! Oh my god! Look at this.
That's gotta be absolutely just torture.
Wait, is that? Oh, that's kind of a cover, but whatever. We just hit the 9-minute left in the match mark here. Interesting bilingual call here.
Garza went for a moonsault, but Styles got his knees up.
Off the second rope, by the way.
Crowd seems to be in favor of AJ. I mean, AJ Jarrett on an impact would be pretty strong here. Reversed DDT springboard there. 1, 2. Garza kicks out at 2.
Avoided the 3 count there. And they're both on their feet. Oh, Garza. That was a right hand. Oh, slams him down face first. Goes for a cover. 2. It's a kick out of 2. Who's going to fight Jeff Jarrett next week? Do we have a potential contender in our ranks?
Or is Jarrett going to come out and just ruin it?
Oh, God. Jarrett's definitely coming out and using a guitar. If we don't get a guitar shot, what is it? Ooh. Oh. Styles went off the top, get hit with a drop kick. As TNA says, this is the first ever in wrestling history bilingual call in a match.
Is that true? I thought Conan was on commentary one time when Jerry Lynn was fighting other people that Conan brought in.
Yeah, but was he speaking strictly Spanish?
Is Moody Jack?
Yeah.
He's not said a word of English.
Not that I've heard.
Oh.
I'm wondering. Oh,
yeah, I guess he is strictly Spanish.
I'm wondering if they're kind of almost translating for each other. Like, is TNA just kind of just doing it? I don't know. Phenomenal one just caught the sensational one. AJ climbing up. Garza is groggy here on the top. Oh. Superplex from the top. Yep, he hit it. Wait a second. Who just got pinned? They just cut it. Oh.
Garza countered the superplex and pinned Styles on the landing.
Look at Styles.
Styles saying that his shoulder was up. Well, AJ, it wasn't. So now next week it's going to be Hector Garza against Jeff Jarrett.
Wow, dude. Wait, okay, let's see the replay here.
Oh, don't freeze.
Why did it stop? Why does it freeze? Okay, we go. Ready? They went. Boom went for the cover. Garza's shoulder was up.
Yeah, but I think AJ's was as well.
I don't know, dude.
Well, I think his left shoulder, they didn't look at that side of it.
Well, we got a standoff. Styles looks pissed, and
he's probably going to shake his hand.
That's really no Jarrett to end our show.
Well, I'll give him credit. Hector Garza against Jeff Jarrett certainly is something different.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Oh.
And yeah, we just went off the air. Bob, what'd you think?
I'm gonna say that was good. That was a fine show. Good show.
Yeah, I think it was good. I don't really have anything to complain about. We can't really bitch too much about all the replay ads. I think that's just that's how they do their TV, and without the commercials, it seems more excessive than it probably feels when you're just watching it. Yeah, I thought it was fine. We saw Daniels get a little bit of a singles high spotlight there. America's Most Wanted and Michael Shane and Kazarian had a pretty good tag team match. I really enjoyed the 20-second Gilberti squash with Monty Brown.
Yeah.
And the main event was fun. So yeah, I think it was a good show as well.
Yeah, and then like I said before, it's going to be an interesting potential or interesting match with Jarrett and Garza. Styles clash, I think, there a little bit. I don't know how much of Garza's offense Jarrett is going to be wanting to take there, but
yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
And then where's it going to lead? Probably nowhere, realistically, but especially with the potential that DDP is kind of teasing. They're teasing the outsiders and DDP kind of getting in each other's way, which is, I feel like, just a hint of him getting to Jarrett. And then Monty Brown was very clearly like, I'm going to fight you soon. So we definitely are working up a couple different things. Even Team Canada, Bob, was like, better watch out. We need the NWA title. And that leaves Johnny Devine versus Jeff Jarrett, which is quite interesting. So, I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens as we kind of move forward here.
Yeah. Next week, we'll maybe get some answers in regards to Erik Watts and DDP. And
yeah, the Erik Watts thing's kind of weird.
What DDP, I guess, doesn't know. I don't know. And then maybe we'll get more of an answer in regards to what Dusty Rhodes has in store for Jeff Jarrett at Final Resolution. So
that's right.
Plenty of questions still to be answered. Dallas, you got anything else for this week's episode?
I don't think so, man. We covered a lot, and next week's show should be pretty interesting. So I hope you guys are ready for some fun backstage news and notes.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to more drama.
Always there.
Yeah. All right, join us next week for the December 17th edition of Impact. We are 5 weeks away before we get to Final Resolution. Until next week, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Crossline Podcast.
We find the defendants guilty.